about to say, because one of the points I had put in is like you can like I did my research a little bit and seen like, and I already knew about you like with the Drake beats. The one
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
that stood out to me and shit with the samples and everything, but like
Hmm.
I was like at a certain point, every type of creative on YouTube always has that they run into the problem that it's like hard to stay consistent on there, and so I was wondering
Hmm.
like how that was for you and shit.
So like, I'm not gonna lie. Like when I first like started blowing up on YouTube, it was like mad unhealthy in terms of like. Once I saw I had a little bit of traction, I was like, I'm just gonna keep doing it. So I was
Yeah.
literally like just doing it
Mm-hmm.
every single day. I was like no life in it, bro. Like
Mm-hmm.
I would upload a beat every single day, and because I would have to like find all my samples like by myself and shit, it would
Yeah.
just take hours upon hours of like searching through YouTube channels or like different
Yeah.
fucking songs and shit and trying to find which ones work. And then sometimes you chop one and it doesn't work, so like
Yeah.
you gotta go find another song. So it was like it definitely became like a job, like a full time job in a sense.
Yeah.
But I was happy doing it at the same time. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, like
Yeah, that's what I saw about you. You're using like a lot of these samples, and it's like always so like because a lot of these YouTube type beats with samples is like, oh, I heard that sample like in a Kendrick Lamar song or something. But
yep,
you, it's more like unique and it's like different,
yeah,
and
bro.
it's crazy. So like that whole process of going and finding samples and shit, that must be, you know what I'm saying, kind of redundant, especially with chopping them. Like imagine you
Yeah,
find a
bro.
really good sample and it's like off time and everything. That'd be crazy. But yeah.
Yeah, that shit was a. I don't know if we could curse on here, but that shit was a pain in the ass, bro.
Nah,
Um,
you can curse on here for sure. But no,
yeah,
yeah,
it
that's
was
tough.
it was really it was fun. I'm not gonna lie. Like honestly, that
Mm,
whole process taught me just a lot about my production style in general and just how like I operate within FL. Because I feel like a
yeah.
lot of people operate differently within their DAWs and stuff, and like how they
Mm-hmm.
get around and maneuver. So that kind
Yeah.
of just established my shit a lot, you know.
Yeah. Speaking of DAWs, do you ever like you probably use FL as you mentioned, but like do you ever use any other like DAWs or are you just strictly on
Hell
FL?
yeah.
Oh, for
No, I
sure.
mean I don't use them as often, but like when I first started producing, like I actually would jump between FL and Ableton just because like I wanted the samples to be on time, and it was
Mm-hmm.
really easy for me to just move them shits on time in Ableton. But
Yeah,
then
for
it became
sure.
a hassle to keep opening and closing different programs and shit.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I kind of just do it sometimes. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to get into Logic now. I'm really getting good at Pro Tools, so
Yeah.
we're getting
Mm.
there.
Yeah, there's 2 points in that. The whole
Yeah.
Ableton and FL Studio thing. Like
Hmm.
Ableton has a really good like time warping features, but like for the drums and the MIDI, it's so terrible in my opinion.
Hell
But
yeah.
FL Studio is the complete opposite. Like to warp some time shit, it takes hella time, but the drums is so like well set up.
They smack. Yeah.
Exact, and yeah, they smack too. So yeah, but yeah, and the second point is Pro Tools. Like that's dope because that probably means that you're like more focused into like recording artists and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Is what
Yeah.
I'm getting. Yeah, that's fire. So yeah, that was actually that's crazy. The conversation is kind of working how I put my notes. But
Hmm.
the fourth point I had is like working with artists. I seen you like actually let's just go through your placements. You got like hella placements with like a lot of New York artists like Lil Tjay,
Hmm.
Stunna Gambino, Ji, all these artists. Like, how would you say was getting to work with these artists? Because I know a lot of these producers, the type beats, they can get it. You know what I'm saying? Create
Yeah.
your own lane, create your own niche, work and like post every day or whatever. But then how would you transfer that, or how would you say you transferred that from like working on type beats to like working with artists? And do you work with artists in studios and stuff like that?
Yeah. So I've actually been like, I'm actually really glad you brought that point up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, lately, as you definitely seen, like I've been linking with a lot of the artists and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
and like that, I attribute that a lot to like there kind of became a point in my YouTube career where I was like, all right, I'm getting all these views and I'm getting
Mm-hmm.
all these like hits on YouTube,
Yeah.
but like these artists don't know me. So that's when I kind of took a turn in my career and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do whatever I can in my power to just like get in front of these people.
Mm-hmm.
Cause that relationship is gonna like long term it's just gonna help me way more, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
YouTube is always gonna be there and I can always jump back into YouTube and get
Mm-hmm.
consistent.
Yeah.
But it's like you can't really do that with an artist and stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
and a lot of artists have these swing phases and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's just a lot to handle, but I definitely made that transition. Pretty much almost all the artists that are like I listed in my credits I met to
Mm-hmm.
some extent. Um, I've just been I kind of took the momentum that I got from first working with Ji and I used that momentum to kind of catapult myself into like, all right, this guy's like a producer in New York
Mm-hmm.
that like is hot, and like his credentials is one of the hottest rappers in New York.
Yeah.
So that kind of just got me in the door with like a lot of rappers.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes a lot of people just wouldn't really see like why. Like even when I first started working with Stunna, like this was before Heartless and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a lot of people just really didn't get it. But fast forward to now, like Stunna's doing his thing and whatnot, and like I just hang out with him and shit like that. So
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
I don't know. It took me a while to really get good at learning how to like link artists and sit down with them and stuff like that. Because I'm
Mm-hmm.
not. It wasn't always as easy. Like when I first met them, like a lot of them want you to cook up on the spot. Some of them
Yeah.
want you to just engineer the session right there, and you gotta just know how to use Pro Tools magically. So
Yeah.
there's just a lot of variables that come with it. But long term, like you'll pretty much be locked in with that artist to the point where like on projects, on singles, like you'll just be getting placements with them here and there,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll just be getting paperwork like every so often. Be like, oh shit, I didn't even know we like was dropping this. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that's dope. Actually, like working one on one with him, and like I don't know, it feels like the way you're describing it, it was like a learning experience, and like finding out like, oh shit, I gotta be prepared with this and that, and like come prepared and shit. So that's kind of dope. Like I eventually want to get to like working with artists. I really haven't worked with anybody like other than people online, but like yeah, that's definitely
yeah,
dope.
yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
also another thing, like you said, like oh, working with Jai got me like I would say momentum to work with other
Mhm.
people, right? So was that like a placement he got a beat on YouTube, or what was that? What was that Jai working with him?
So like the first song I did with Ji, I didn't know Ji, and I was used to. Um,
Oh,
that was through
that's one of
yeah,
his biggest songs.
yeah. So
Yeah,
that was through pretty much Palace was locked in with him at the time. He produced like majority of his first EP,
yeah.
and he was working on the second one.
Mm-hmm.
And Palace heard like I pretty much flipped that sample on YouTube, and it went viral. And then Mozzy used it, and that turned into his "I'll Never Tell Him Shit" song. Um,
Mm,
Palace heard the sample, was like, "Yo, I want to flip that shit too." So I was like, "All right." So I rechopped it, sent it to him, and he sent it to Ji, and we got used to out of that. So,
yeah, yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, there's a lot
but
of
that
things.
that
Yeah,
led to me like working with Ji more.
yeah.
So.
So did he like hit you up personally, or did you like how did you actually get the connection? I would say.
So his manager ended up inviting me to his SOB show in New York,
Mm-hmm.
because he heard my shit on YouTube. He was like, "Yo, I think you're really dope."
Yeah.
So yeah, he invited me to his SOB show, and I'm trying to remember when. I think it was like just before I went to the SOB show. Like um his producer who did Nimi DOC on the beat,
Mm-hmm.
he hit me up and he was like, "Yo, let's work." So I sent him. I don't know if you heard "Love in the Club," that like dancehall song by him, but like I pretty
Mm-hmm.
much did start that shit in my room, and I did it in like 10 minutes, and I was
Oh
just like, all
shit.
right. I was
Yeah.
like, all right, like it was a good
Yeah.
idea. So I sent it out, and they touched it up and arranged it, and that turned
Mm-hmm.
into "Love in the Club." So after that, they were just like, "Yo, we like need you to work with JI like a
Mm-hmm.
shitload more."
Yeah. I feel like it's like almost the way you're describing it's like a chemistry that kind of like I don't know. They kind of seen that your production style and his like what beats he likes to work with kind of like meshed well together and like
When I pitched it to his manager, he was like, "Nah, like." He was like, "That's not a good idea." And I'm thinking, I told him, I was like, "It just makes more sense to build my brand off of like I work with this cat, and like his
mm-hmm.
music is really good, and we did some shit. So like I got
Yeah.
some shit for everybody. And that turned into Melvoni One Man Army.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, me and Melvoni started locking in from that. We ended up linking each other, going to the studio a lot, and just chilling and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we did One Man Army. But at the same time, Melvoni did One Man Army. Lil Tjay also heard the beat and did What You Want to Do. So I don't
Damn.
know, just that whole time period was just like a lot of people tapping in, and it was very interesting because a lot of the artists thought I would be like kind of like cocky because I was working with JI, but in my
Mm-hmm.
eyes, I was like it was a smart business move. Like
Yeah.
I can I
Exactly.
can expand I can expand the talent pool that I'm working with, catch hits all over the place. Like it
Yeah.
just screams a better business strategy. So I just did that.
Yeah. Exactly. That's kind of like the same thing for me. The way I like kind of got linked with
Mhm.
certain producers because like I'm a sample maker. I just literally just make loops most of the time, and like I
Yeah,
send them out to other producers. So like whenever you get locked in with one person and they post you, other people see it, then you can like work with them as well, and like it's almost like a snowball effect, which
exactly,
it's kind of like the
exactly.
same thing with you. Like one artist led to another artist, and like now you're locked in with like a lot of people in your city. So it's crazy.
Yeah, man, it's actually a lot of pressure. Like I'd be like some of the people that DM me from New York, I always dreamed of working with, and it just be
Mm.
like what have they heard about me that kind of led them to wanting to work. That just always
Yeah.
lingers in your mind.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
I'm getting used to it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually yeah. That kind of I didn't notice it, but it kind of goes through my head too. It's like, oh shit, this person that I always like, I
Right,
listen to their beats or I listen to their songs. Like they hit me up. It's like, damn, they kind of see something in me. So it's kind of cool, like that they're.
right.
It's almost like full circle in a way, almost too. But yeah,
Yeah, man. It's just a lot to think about these days with the whole situation.
yeah. So speaking of loops and shit, what
Hmm.
what would your stance be on like the whole debate, like
Hmm.
the age-old debate with producers? If you use loops, you're not a real producer. Like, what would you think about that? Especially since you use like samples and stuff, which is almost like
Hmm.
loops in a way. But yeah,
Um, so like I remember, I think I got into an argument with an engineer one day over that argument because
mm-hmm.
at the time I was just going crazy in New York. Like I was just
Yeah,
catching records all over the place, but I was using loops.
yeah.
So like the engineer was just going on a rant saying like anyone that uses loops like isn't a real producer,
Oh
but he'd
shit.
always but he'd always stop and be like, but not you, and then continue to rant, and I would
Yeah.
just be like, like it would always confuse me. So
Mm-hmm.
one thing led to another, and I ended up taking a trip to LA to work with Mozzy,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the first time I met TNT. Shout out TNT.
Mm.
Um,
That boy
and
be
me and
going
T
crazy, man.
right,
TNT.
bro.
Yeah.
TNT is a beast,
Yeah, he on
and
every album, like hella songs and
everything,
shit.
bro.
Yeah. But yeah.
He's the goat for real.
Mm-hmm.
But we sat down and we were cooking up, and like he started using loops too, and I was like, yo, I use loops too, like.
Mm-hmm.
And I had told him I was like, like I get a lot of shit. Like some people tell me like, I'm not shit because I use loops, and he was like, bro, like I don't get like why anyone would ever want to be concerned about like your musical process. And I was like,
Yeah.
what you mean? He's like, it was just like 2 points. He's like, I mean, from a consumer standpoint, like the consumer won't really care, like
Mm-hmm.
if you use the loop or not. But from a second standpoint, like no one's creative process should be judged. Like especially
Mm.
like when we're all
Yeah.
doing it with the same end goal in mind to just like take care of ourselves and the people we
Yeah.
care about. So it's
Yeah.
just like why judge anyone's creative process when that end goal is just it just doesn't make sense. And I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
you make a good point. But hearing it
Mm.
from him was just really crazy because like as you know he does a bulk of raw wave shit, like a lot of NBA YoungBoy shit,
Mm. Yeah.
and he's a very like business minded like let's work individual. He doesn't really like to get hung up on things like that because topics like that just divide the community and like he wants
Mm.
everyone to eat. Because if he
Yeah.
had that mindset, then half the people he works with, like I don't even know, like Taj Money is great at the piano, bro. Like
Mm.
if he took a loop mindset like that, he wouldn't work with half of his friends and shit. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, how would I say this? Thinking about loops as like something bad is almost like I don't know. It's like it doesn't make sense because like everybody has their own strengths. So why not just what I'm saying, put it together and make a better product,
yeah,
like
right.
a better end product, and just like work to our strengths and shit. But yeah.
But true say for me personally, I also
Mm.
just like this is gonna sound crazy weird, but like I just really enjoy helping people get placements because you just never
Mm.
know where like that person is gonna go. Like
Yeah.
you might get this person a placement and they go on and work with someone else and do something amazing and they'll never
Yeah.
forget. Like, yo, bro, you really looked out for me and got me my first placement. Like, I would love
Yeah.
to like pay it forward. So always
Mm.
just looking out for people because you just never know. Like,
Yeah, that's a crazy point that you say that because like as you mentioned, Palace, like you guys worked with that on that JS song, right? But
mhm.
Palace is like I would say I would attribute a lot of my success to him because just off like one like I sent him some loops and we got a song with like Annalie Chapa and like just off
Wow,
that one song like a lot of other people hit me up and that was I would say the real start of my Snowball like success, getting in with like other producers, sending them loops and like everything. So
yeah,
like that's the exact point. Like how would I say this? Like you don't know. Like if you help everybody, it's I don't. I feel like everybody's gonna end up helping you in the end. So it's gonna be crazy. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the. I like that mindset of like looking out for
Yeah, that's
people
just
and
mine. Like
yeah,
I always just want to look out because why
mm-hmm,
not, bro? Like we all
indeed,
struggling. Like there's really no blueprint to this music shit, and we're
yeah,
all struggling trying to figure this shit out. So like,
yeah,
why the fuck would I make it harder for the next guy? Like
yeah, true. Yeah. Especially if
I
that
know how hard this
person,
shit is.
yeah, especially if that person has something for you too. Like in my case, I had loops for Palace, and he like needed loops like for his beats or whatever. So it's
Mhm.
like it's an even exchange, but at the same time, you're kind of helping the other person out more and shit. It's like it's cool. Like everybody can like have their chance, and like giving somebody an opportunity, just I don't know, it feels really good inside. It feels like I don't know, it just feels good. But yeah,
Nah, bro, you said it perfectly. You
yeah.
said it perfectly.
Chat says if you want to be consistent, you gotta use loops. No way you can do melodies and send out like 5-10 beats a day. Yeah, it depends. For a certain producer, I'd say if you're mostly focused on just shipping out beats, then loops is probably the best way.
Yo, CookUp is crazy.
I mean, shit. If you got like beat packs on beat packs to send, then shit, it'd probably be easier to use loops. And
Right.
if you don't got them connects, it'd probably be easier to make them loops and send
I
them to
mean,
like
I don't know,
producers.
bro. Like sometimes like the workload do get crazy and
Yeah.
like there be like I'm these days I'm very big on like I always want to make the best shit. Like I don't want to leave that project file without something that's like
Mm,
ridiculous, you know.
yeah.
So sometimes I'm in a mindset where like I'm okay with making 3 a day, but sometimes I really just got so many opportunities and so many people that want shit that it's like
Yeah.
I might have to get on the package and process shit, you know. But I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, that's the thing. As good as loops are, it's almost kind of watering down the thing because it's like, I don't know. Some like for some people they like to see the project from scratch to the end and like really touch
Yeah,
every
right.
single part of it. But like at the same time, if you do that, it's so time consuming that you can't really get those packs out. So it's almost a compromise when you use loops sometimes. But it is what it is. It is what it
It
is.
is. Yo, you crazy.
Nah, but yeah. So next point would be so did you like how was your like school how would I say this? Your schooling like process. Do you ever like drop out of college? Do you go to college right now or like what's the thing?
Man, I ain't gonna lie. Like I dropped out of. So I'm. How can I like give you a good timeline? So in high school, okay, we can start there. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I ain't gonna front. I didn't make beats in high school until like my last year, like my senior year. Um, in school, like I was like I didn't struggle with school or nothing like that.
Yeah.
But it was just like I feel like I honestly picked up making beats like so late. I'm kind of mad I did, but I picked
Mm-hmm.
it up in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And like I started my first year of college and I was making beats and
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, damn, I gotta go to class and make beats. Like, but I was
Yeah.
on I was on YouTube and I had a friend who was hitting bank on YouTube at the time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm in college. I'm like, yo, my guy, he's like, yeah, I'm taking my girl out to the movies tonight. Just made this exclusive beat sale. I'm like, yo, this man is wild. And I was making beats at the time. So I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, none of my beats is hitting. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
a very competitive person. So like
Yeah.
it was weird though, cause I'm in school on like a full scholarship, bro. So I'm
Oh.
like, damn. I'm
Yeah.
like, damn. Like, there's a lot of pressure on me to like go to school and do school, cause like I got that far. But then I'm like, I gotta be the best beat maker. Like this dude taking
Mm-hmm.
this girl out to the movies. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta get to that level. Like I gotta surpass this guy. So like I
Mm-hmm.
ended up just becoming so obsessed with it, bro. I was making so many beats. Like I literally just wouldn't leave my chair in school. I wouldn't go to class. During lunchtime I would go to the studio.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was
Yeah.
just going back and forth between my room and the studio, just making beats. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember like it got to a point where like one of my beats went like my early beats went viral on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then like I was like, all right, I think I could do this. But by that point my grades were so fucked and like shit was just so fucked like
Yeah.
mentally and school wise. I ended up coming home. I dropped out, and then like my college was like, yo, we're gonna give you another chance. Like, um, go to
Oh.
community college. I'm like, oh, go to community college. Like, so
Mm.
I tried going there for a week,
Yeah.
and I was still making beats, of course. And I
Yeah.
was like, no one was just taking me serious. They were like, yo, you making beats for a living? Like
Mm.
what the fuck? Like that's nothing, bro. So I'm just like, damn. It's like, how can I'm just so I'm very depressed, but I'm just so motivated to like
Mm.
prove everyone wrong. Like people really don't take nobody in the music industry that's starting serious, bro.
Mm.
And it
That's a
sucks.
fact. Yeah.
And it sucks. So I'm
Yeah.
just like, my mom was like, what are you doing with your life? Like shit
Mm.
just got real rough, bro.
Yeah.
Um so I remember I got to my lowest point and I ended up making some Kanye West type beat. And that
Mm.
shit just went stopped on YouTube, bro. And I got a
Mm.
call from Bryson Tiller's manager, and he
Mm.
was like, "Yo, like I want to use this beat." And after that, I was like, you know what? Like, if Bryson Tiller's manager could find my shit on YouTube and call me, bro, no one could tell me like this can't be a living.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
no one could tell me like this can't be a living. Like, if
Yeah.
someone as that esteemed in the industry is like really
Mm.
looking,
Yeah.
like so
Yeah.
cause bro, there's people that like probably went to school, bro, that got a bachelor's degree in like communication or something to work at like a
Mm.
Genius or
Yeah.
something like that to
Mm.
get in contact with Neil Dominique, and like I'm just sitting in my fucking room in my boxers scratching my balls and like he called me like asking for a beat, so I'm
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, after like 6 months of just straight grinding and everyone telling me like what the fuck is wrong with you for dropping out and everything, like
Mm-hmm.
that shit paid the fuck off. So I'm
Yes,
like, you know what,
sir.
I'm about to just run it up.
Mm-hmm.
So I just after that I just ran it up.
Yeah, that's fire. That's like almost like seeing the light at the end of the tunnel that says, "Oh, let me keep going," because this is actually like paying off. It's like paying the dividends. All that investing, the time that I put in, it's like paying off and shit. So like, yeah,
Bro, as a matter of fact, CookUp, even
mm,
some more exclusive shit, like
yeah,
I ain't talk about this recently, but even after like I left JI and G Star, like I felt like between us, everyone in this chat, I thought it was over for me, like career wise, bro. Like
mm,
I really thought like a lot of people again were just like, you just left such a big act, like
mm,
how could you
yeah,
rebound off of that, so it's just been really crazy to just finally be back up to where I felt like I fell off from,
yeah,
and I'm just really excited for all the shit that's about to come out and just
mm-hmm.
like
Yeah, that's dope though. Like, especially
patience, man.
yeah, patience. Also having like determination. Like, I feel like the way you like, I don't know how you said that story. It kind of came across as like you were almost obsessed with like making beats and like trying to be like at the top and really good at it. So like, I feel like if you really want to be successful, you got to have that goal in your head. Like some things are more important than others. And like for you at that time, I feel like now saying getting that career, like being a good music producer and having it pay off was like one of the top things in your life. So yeah, that's fire.
I mean, yeah, man. I'm just trying to stack at this point now, because it's like it
Yeah.
took a very long time to establish the
Mm-hmm.
foundation I have now, where I can just pick up the phone and call a rapper, and be
Yeah.
like, "Yo, like let's do like 10 songs tonight. Like, let me
Mm-hmm.
pull up on you."
Yeah.
So it took a very long time to get there, bro. But like, I'm hyped, like real
Yeah.
hype.
That's fire. Yeah. Shit. Actually, that kind of gave me like a few flashbacks because I
Hmm.
remember I was in class in university my first semester, and like the way I marketed my loops was I made tutorials, and I'm like, I'm gonna show you how to make a beat, and then here's the
Yeah,
loop that I'm using, and if you want this loop, you can get it like in the description, and then people would buy my kits off that. But like
fire.
it was a whole grind because I had to make a tutorial, edit that shit, make a beat, like research. Oh, how did this new Travis Scott song sound like? What were the drums like? Let me like actually teach these people, like give them value and shit. And
Hmm.
like I remember I was in school editing like the tutorial during the class, and like I did realize at the end of the class, I'm like shit. I just spent the whole time editing the tutorial. I'm not even listening to the class. Why am I in the school anyways? Like,
Right,
let me just drop out, like double down on this shit and grind it
right.
out.
Yo,
And
I had
like
that same mindset.
indeed, yeah, that's why your story like resonated with me a lot. It's like damn. Sometimes you realize that wow, I'm really doing what I want to do, but I'm doing it at school. Like, there's no reason for me to be in this exact place. I should just be at home or like in the studio or like somewhere where I can actually like, I don't know, actually try and really go at this instead of like kind of bringing myself down with school, which is yeah the thing. But yeah, that's
And I
crazy.
don't I never like to downplay school, but it's just
Mm,
like I
yeah.
don't know, like it was always weird for me, bro, because like I didn't struggle with school, like I was a straight A student, so it
Mm,
was like it wasn't like I had a trouble. I'm not gonna sit here and say I had a trouble like school experience, but to me it was just like why not do what you're like if you really put your all into something you're passionate
mm,
about. In my eyes, there's no way that it can't work.
indeed,
Like
yeah.
if you're
Mm,
really
yeah.
passionate about something and you put your all into it, bro,
Yeah.
it's always gonna click, bro. So
It has
I
to,
don't
yeah.
know. Maybe some people call that shit optimistic thinking, but that's just the way I
Mm-hmm.
just think. Like it's just shit is just gonna shake, and it's gonna attract you to certain
Mm.
situations that's gonna make it work. So
Yeah, I feel like yeah, that's one thing I realized too. Like when I don't know when I was like when I found a few like I got like a little success and stuff. I was like,
mhm.
bro, if I really put my mind to anything, I feel like I could do it. That's just me. Like obviously, I have like a few limitations in life, but like as long as like I see that this is realistic, even though I'm not
Yeah.
there yet, and this is like a smart play, like something I could possibly do. If I really just put all the time in, I feel like I can get it, and that's pretty
Now
much
we think
anything.
alike, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm realizing with this podcast. And this is actually the first time we're like talking, which is
Yeah,
kind of
right.
crazy.
Which is
Yeah.
crazy. Like, but I already know
Yeah.
we've been new about each other, bro. I'm not even gonna front.
Yeah. That's crazy. But yeah, for sure. Definitely, yeah. I was gonna ask along with
Mhm.
that question was cool. I was gonna say, is it in your opinion possible to balance school and music? Because I know a lot of producers in the chat, a lot of people that follow me are in school and want to become
Yeah,
like a full time music
yeah.
producer. So it's like,
Yeah.
How would you say it's even possible? Like, what's your whole thoughts on that?
I'm not gonna lie, like I think it will be possible, but you have to be like some like perfect human, like
Yeah,
in terms of like time, because like now that I've done the YouTube side, I've done the industry side a little bit.
yeah,
Like I understand like how you would have to budget your time.
mm-hmm.
It's just like it would be tough, bro, because like you got to find time to study, but then like just from a digital standpoint, like you have to be consistent in order for
Mm-hmm.
your face to continue to be relevant and keep showing up and things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I just feel like you would have to cut out so many things that would like help you enjoy life, which is doable, like
mm-hmm.
you could do it, but it's just like are you willing to make that sacrifice to like
Yeah. True. Yeah, I feel
I don't
like
know, like
yeah.
you couldn't socialize, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like life is almost like you gotta have two things. You got usually your social life and then your
Mhm.
like business life, or like whatever you do professionally, right? And if school is up occupying that second part, then you really don't have space for anything else. Like you can kind of squeeze two things in there, but it usually doesn't fit. It'll pop out eventually,
Right.
right? But
Bro, I
like,
was trying to take Spanish, bro,
mhm,
like while I was making beats, bro, and like that was the hardest shit. Like trying to study and memorize Spanish, bro, and then
mhm,
trying to cook up beats, bro,
yeah,
and watching the Nick Mirror cook-ups and all these other
oh
shit, bro. That
yeah,
shit was tough.
yeah, facts. And like, I feel like it's a twofold problem in that first you don't have enough time for both of them to do it like properly, and then second, if I'm like studying all day, right, and then I make a beat,
Yeah.
I'm like I'm doing music. I want to do music right now. It's like
Right.
I don't feel like going back to studying. You can't really like allocate your time like that, and there's always gonna be schoolwork that keeps piling up. So it's like I say the answer to the question for me it seems like no, but then maybe yes for a short period of time, but like I don't know. It's hard. It's hard though.
Yeah.
It's definitely
I feel
hard.
that. It's hard as fuck.
Yeah. Balance is never easy. I don't think only for school and music, like pretty much every type of balance is hard. Like even like maybe I in the last podcast I was talking to my boy JJ and he was talking about how he balances having a relationship and music, which is also like as crazy as it sounds, it's also like you gotta work on that. You gotta like
Mm.
give time to your partner and like also give like put the enough work into like make sure your shit works in music wise. So
For a relationship,
yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. The way I handle relationships with music is
Mm.
horrible. It's bro, to me, I'd be like, look,
Yeah.
this music gonna come first every time, man.
Yeah,
Every time.
that's tough. That's the thing. That's the proper thing to like put first because that's you and you like I'd say it's kind of selfish and like some people might call it narcissistic or whatever, but like I'm the most important person to me. Like I'm the
Mhm.
first priority in everything. Like as much as I love other people, like I gotta take care of myself first. So it's kind of tough to like
Mm.
have a partner or whatever. Like even if you don't have one, it's kind of hard to like pursue it if you have something that's
Right.
so important to yourself. Like it's like I don't know.
I mean, the way I
That's
think is like,
mm,
at the end of the day, like the only way I'm gonna go up is if I keep making these beats, and like the only
mm,
person that's gonna make that beat is me, bro. So it's like,
indeed.
so I'd be like, damn, I want to
Yeah,
stress about it, but like
yeah,
if I don't get in here and cook up, bro, like nothing
yeah.
is gonna move, bro. So it's
Indeed,
like
yes.
as much as I want to sometimes, like people
Mm,
could call it narcissistic, bro, but like the same with you, bro. Like
yeah,
everyone in your life is like cook up, gotta make them beats, bro. Like you gotta
yeah.
keep making the beats,
Indeed, yeah.
gotta keep getting those placements to keep moving.
That's
So it's
yeah. That's
like
it. Yeah.
I try to feel sympathetic, bro, but like who gonna crack open that laptop and open FL and like
Mm,
sit here for hours, scratch their head and like go through these thoughts and this that and like it's
yeah.
so much.
Yeah, sometimes yeah, it's tough, but sometimes you just I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it feels like with everything, music just comes up to the top. It's like always ends up being my first priority and shit. So
Yeah.
W interview. This is a real good interview. I'd say what would be your like last words of motivation to chat before we end it off?
Shit, man. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like it's getting real tough these days in this music industry
Mm,
because it's just like the competition and there's just so many different ways to get the music out and get in your face now. It's really tough, but I encourage everyone, like I do in every interview, to just be innovative. I feel like a lot of people struggle to get placements or get things because like we think within the lines of what's being done right now. And my
yeah,
whole style and everything just kind of became established off the fact that like I kind of knew what the foundation was, and like I just told myself, what if I just go to the left or right of it?
yeah,
Um, so yeah, like I just encourage everyone to please push the community forward. I feel like right now we need new sounds, we need new music, we
Yeah.
need new everything. And I'm always
Yeah.
excited. I'm always excited to see like new styles and the way shit is being done. So
Facts.
please,
Facts.
everybody, keep pushing the sound and genre forward,
Yeah.
whatever genre you in.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
we appreciate everybody.
Indeed. Hey, that's fire. We always can get more of new stuff. Like, there's always. I feel like there's always space. There's always it might seem like it's saturated, but there's always space if you're creative enough. You got your own sauce, your own style. There's always space for new people. But yeah, hey,
Yeah.
that wraps it up, man. You
Yo,
gotta
thank you,
let.
CookUp. This
Hey,
was
for
fire
sure.
as fuck, bro.
Yeah, this was a pleasure of mine. I'd say more than anything, because this is actually like a dope listening to all your like stories and all
Nah, bro.
your
Yeah, there's
thoughts
so
and
much
everything.
more. Like, I tried to keep
Yeah.
it brief because I don't want to talk your arrow, bro. You know.
Nah, we could do a part two. We could run it back. We could do all that for sure. But yeah, hey, you gotta let the people know where they can find you. Like I know you on Twitch and everything. So
Nah, of course. Yo, y'all can find me Jabari on the beat. That's literally the same on anything, Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud, whatever.
yeah,
Yo, y'all please go check out this artist I've been working with called Sewer Person 2. He's on the underground scene. We're going crazy right now.
yes sir.
I hate to do that last little shout out, but come on, man. Y'all know we going up. I
Yes
know we
sir.
going up.
Nah, for sure. Nah, that is what it is, man. It is what it is. Hey, appreciate it, man.
But yo, love you, Cook Up. Thanks for having me, bro.
Hey, thanks for coming by, man. I appreciate it.
Peace.
Peace.